Hi guys, welcome back to Cupcakes and Protein Shakes. I am your host, Savannah. We're doing an episode where we're interviewing another competitor on the show. So I'm super excited to have you here today. So introduce your name and tell us where you are from.
Well, hello, Sav. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Krystal Nield, and I'm from the good old state of Alabama.
Alabama, amazing. Okay, well, I am super excited just to talk about your journey, but I do want to know like what's going on now? What's going on in your life? Are you off season improvement? Where you are right now?
Awesome. So I'm with Team Elite Physique. We don't have off seasons. We have
Yes.
improvement seasons, which I absolutely love. That mindset has completely changed my perception of what it is that we do. Right now, I am set to compete in March. However, I will be with Angel Competition Bikinis at the Olympia. So I'm very excited to hit that stage. And yeah, I can't wait to see you there.
I know. I'm so excited for the Olympia. We are going to have, honestly, so there's so much going on with the Olympia. Like the Olympia itself, just amazing, inspirational. Wow. Like those athletes. And then it's like the expo. It's like, okay, another thing. It's like Christmas when you go to an expo, it's like trick or treating for adults, which is amazing. And it's kind of Halloween week-ish. It's November, but it's like the week of Halloween. So I'm like, okay, this is fun. And then what else is happening? Yeah, fashion show is happening. So we have the Angel Competition Bikinis Olympia Fashion Show, which is going to be right now. We already have 100 ladies that are going to be there.
Wow.
So
That's
we will.
incredible.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's like going to be one of our biggest shows that we've ever had. Lots of different suits, different colors. Like I've been making some really cool bikinis for this show. It's our 10-year anniversary for Angel Competition Bikinis too. So like there's just so much going on. There's so much going on, so much to look forward to. I'm excited to have you there and walking, but I do want to jump into, let's start from the beginning. Take us back to when did you get introduced to competing? What year was it? And how did you find out about the sport?
Okay. Well, my journey started very odd. Well, I think it's odd. So in 2015, 2016, we are in a military community. And so you get a lot of friends and then they leave all of a sudden, and it's kind of sad. But one of my intermittent friends, I guess, came into town, and she was just one of the coolest people I'd ever met. And she was like, yeah, I'm a fitness model. And I was like, what is that? So I was really intrigued, and I was trying to figure out how do you get into that industry, and modeling is always something I wanted to do. I'm a little short, so it wasn't really in my favor. I'm not super photogenic, but anyway, I digress. So she was like, you need to check out this thing called the Try Fitness Challenge. Have you ever heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the Try Fitness Challenge is put on in Tampa, Florida by Al and Bernadette Rosen. And it is basically a whole weekend. So you do obstacle courses, fitness skills, a fitness routine, a true grit challenge, and then there's a grace and physique portion. So when you actually like get on a stage in a bikini. So they describe it as like when Barbie meets G.I. Jane. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that in like either 2015, 2016 or 2016, 2017. But that was kind of my introduction into the world of like stage. The grace and physique portion is, kind of like an NPC. And I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 14. So the obstacle courses, the fitness challenges, all of that stuff, it was just like trashing my body, unfortunately. Because although I'm fit, I have to be reasonable. So I was like, well, how can I get this piece of this world and not have to suffer, over here? And that's when I discovered NPC, because I started doing some research and trying to figure it out. So I competed in 2019 with the NPC, and I started locally. So here in Birmingham, we had the Vulcan Classic, and I won my first true novice. But that was really fascinating because I didn't know a lot about the industry. I was like, okay, so you got to shave yourself. That's weird. Okay, you got to get painted. That's even more strange. And my girlfriend had given me a bikini. And so I was like, sweet, I could just save a lot of money. Well, I didn't know that most of the suits are stones, and I was wearing sequins. So I was like, I look a little different than most of the people on this stage. So Anyway, it all worked out. And from there, I did the Type Hope Classic, Alabama State. I've just done several. And my last, this past year, I did the Clash, the first Clash, and then another local show. And then that's when Kimber and I just kind of decided, like, we need a season to grow. So no more cutting for the year.
So, okay. So has Kimber been your coach the whole time?
No, I've been through a couple of different coaches. Maybe they're like swap teams, or I left. This is here's some advice for people. Okay, so if you weren't listening before, tune in right now because this is important. When your coach tells you, I don't think you're going to be ready for that stage, and don't do it, you should listen to them. So I was with Team Elite Physique, and I had earned a national stage show. So I was like, I'm already registered. I've already got my airline tickets. My mom's coming with me. I've got the hotel, all of the things. And my coach was like, I can't support that. And I was like, okay. So I dropped my team and found a local friend, right? Because I was like, I need some booty gains, like super quick, like and in a hurry. My hormones were trashed. I could not lean out for the show. And it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever experienced. So I placed 16th, which is, there were probably like 5 of us that were 16th because there's no more rating after that. So when your coach says no go, don't go.
Yeah.
They're not being ugly. They just want the best for you.
And that's hard for new competitors to understand. Like, really is, because I've been in there and I got told the same thing. I luckily listened, but honestly, I was pissed. Like, you're like, I just want to go. Like, oh my God, well, like I work so hard. Like, and you're not really thinking straight because you're in a calorie deficit most of the times when you're making that decision to continue prepping. If you've already prepped and then it's like, okay, let's do another one, and you think you can, and your coach is like, no, like you're at max, like you're not eating anything and you're doing 2 hours of cardio. Like, no, thank you. Like, you need time off. You are not going to magically in another 4 weeks or however long that pushes to the next show. It's like, you're not going to look like a pro. You're going to look horrible. You're going to look worse than this show. It's just call it.
Yes, 100%. You are so right.
It sucks, but
it does. But you know what? One of my philosophies in life is 90% of what happens is not about me.
yeah.
And that was not anything personal. Like they just want what's best for me and for the team, like that's their reputation too. So anyway, I just absolutely love Team Elite because they're so honest and supportive, and yeah. So, but no, Kimber, I just got on not too long ago. Well, gosh, I guess it's almost been a year since I've been with Kimber.
Exciting. I'm really great. So I'm like super excited to see like this glow up and journey. But I want to talk to you about mistakes. So we already talked about mistake. Obviously, one is continuing to go for it versus listening to your coach. What other mistakes are notable when you're looking back at your journey?
The rebound. So the losing control after the show of the eating, it's just so easy to be tempted by all the things. I mean, the cookie companies have already signed you up. You've already reserved your cookie for after the show. And with my autoimmune disorder, like it's not just the cookie, it's the gluten in the cookie, it's the dairy in the cookie, so it's like, not only am I going to wake up feeling bloated, but I'm physically not going to be able to walk well, and just really going overboard. So after that season where I competed on the national stage, I kind of spiraled pretty bad. And I ended up gaining more weight than I did when I was pregnant. And that was really hard to bounce back from. It took a very long time. So this season, I told Kimber, I'm like, I'm committing to myself. I'm not going to do this again. And lo and behold, guess what? We had to go through like a several week season where I did it again. And I was like, I'm so ashamed. Please don't drop me as a client. She's like, I would never abandon you, you know. So I love that they just continue to encourage me, because you're going to make a mistake. Nobody can do it perfectly, but the ramifications are just so much bigger than that moment, than that cookie, than that, you know, indulgence, because it wasn't just a cookie. It wasn't just a bite. That was just the start of it, right? It's a gateway drug. And so just being mindful, but it's a lot easier said than done.
Oh gosh, I know. I've failed every reverse, but it's not necessarily a fail because I'm learning on, like, obviously if I don't buy a family size packet of cookies, I can't eat it all. So then I stopped buying it. But it took some time to realize, like, why is this happening? And it's like, well, we know, I knew I'm the one buying the food. I'm the one eating the food. I know. Why is this happening? Because you tell yourself, okay, let's incorporate all these items I haven't had. I'm so excited. I'm going to the grocery store and we're picking off the shelf. And it's like, oh, I can have this. I can have this. And then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I'll just have one. This is like a month serving. Yeah, I'll just macro it in and just post workout. Right. And then you actually get down to it, and here you are shoveling your face, you taste one little bite and just like, okay, I'm just gonna have one. And then maybe you put the box back and you go, oh, that was real good, let me just have another one. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just like make all my carbs this today, so we'll just like, let's just go for it all. And then by the time like you have a little more, come back the next day, you're like, wait a minute, there was like 30 servings in there. I'm doing the math. I said, okay, I think that's my calories for like the whole week. Like, I mean, it happens. It does. And you feel horrible. And it's a shameful thing because everyone on the outside thinks you're so fit and you're like, love like lettuce and like healthy stuff. It's like, that's not it. That is not it. We diet and we look like this, but it doesn't mean that we don't struggle with adhering to diets, with sugar cravings, with all these different stuff. And when you are, low body fat post show, like you just absorb it like a sponge. It's not normal. Like a normal person that's used to having the variety, maybe they could have like a little binge and be fine. But a competitor post show, you're going to absorb anything, even if you ate rice cakes in excess, you are gaining body fat no matter what. And it sucks every time. But again, like, just get back on the wagon. Like when you gain, like after a diet, you can't cut again. You really can't. And it sucks. And I've learned the hard way many, many, many times. It does not get easier, but having a coach that's on board, those check-ins, continue to check in even in the off season. Like when you're struggling, like reach out for help, like just trying to find solutions of like, okay, hey, I can't manage this. It's uncontrollable. I can't not have some chocolate in my life. Can we fit this in my menu plan? Because I will binge if I do not have it on my menu plan. Like little things like that. It does take some time just to learn yourself and learn your body. But was that your recent one? So how long ago was this reverse?
Oh gosh, that reverse, it was after the national show. So let me see.
20.
That was a little while ago. I've been kind of on point for a minute now, thank goodness. Let's see. I ended up doing nationals in 2021. So
okay, so it's been a little while.
But it's taken me over a year to restabilize my hormones and, to get my body back. The other mistake that I was going to tell you. So I texted Kimber and I'm like, so I may have had some granola. And she's like, well, how much granola did you have?
Oh, you are the one.
It might have been the entire bag. And she's like, I don't think that was a snack accident.
I enjoyed that. No,
that was like, do you ever get to the end of cereal and you really just wanted the cold milk? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was one of those type situations. And I was just so embarrassed. And she's like, your show is in like 2 weeks. And I was like, I know.
Oh, it was before your show. Oh.
Yes. That was really hard. But when I checked in with her, she was like, I'm really proud of you for being honest with me. And I was like, well, my waistline won't lie. So I just thought I'd go ahead and throw it out there. So just remember, like, you have got to be honest with yourself and with your coach. Like, keep checking in. It is so easy to want to hide and abandon and be ashamed. And it's just not worth it, just own it. Own it. Like, I love some granola.
Oh no, I love granola. Like that is the one item I can't explain it. It's the texture, it's the crunch, it's the flavor, it's sweet and it's salty. And it's just like and what I tell myself if I'm like in the bag, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get the big chunks. I'm just gonna get the big chunks, and then I'll find the big chunks out of there. And I'm like, oh, let me do maybe like this is a medium-sized chunk, and then I'm like, oh my god, this whole bag is done because a serving size with granola is like one chunk.
Yeah.
If you like look at it like a fourth cup,
Yeah.
I'm not eating a fourth cup. I'm eating a fourth bag, if not the whole bag. So I cannot keep granola in my house. It's one of those items. If my boyfriend wants to have it, said you will have to hide this from me. And I'm not ashamed about it. Like we have certain things. It's the same thing. Nut butter, anything sweet. I was like, if it is in the house, I will eat it. If you bring cookies back here, it's not oh yeah, you can be able to control yourself. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, I can't do it. Hide this. So I'll just be like, here, go hide this. And that's what we have to do during prep. He knows it. He knows that he has to have separate food in a different location. At one point during preps, I put locks on my cabinets because I'm like, I just can't trust myself. Like it sucks. Like it sucks because you are severely like starving. You can't help it. Man, it's been granola. But okay, so I'm glad that you brought this up because this happens. A lot of competitors are scared to talk about it and like the mistakes. Okay, like your body looked amazing on stage, so probably everyone thought you were perfectly adhering 100% your whole entire prep. It's usually not the case. So a prep is going to be your best at the given time. There is a ton of competitors that do not share that binge before their show and after. A lot of people do it after, but they're embarrassed to talk about it. Right? But it happens. A lot of athletes, when you get the carbs introduced, like it is like lighting the fuel on fire. You are suppressing that hunger. Here comes carbs. And now it happens to me every single time. I get ravenous when I start carving up for show day. Even if I just have it's like literally throwing like a stick of in the fire and the fumes are just like, phew. I get so hungry. It's almost like, oh no, I can't. Like we're so close and you know better. And you have these conversations. You have the devil on your one shoulder and the angel on the other. That's like, we have a show. We need to be good. And the other one is like, I'm so hungry. It doesn't even matter. Shut up. Let's just eat this. It tastes so good. And you don't have a lot of, I guess, stimulation or like other happiness, I guess, at the time, because you can't drink alcohol. I mean, you're most likely not doing drugs, like hardcore drugs, right? So it's like, what is the escape? If you're stressed out, there really isn't anything. Like a lot of people go to alcohol or like smoking or whatever it is. Like a competitor has to internalize and deal with that stress, and that's hard. A prep is hard, but I'm glad that you're just sharing because I've done it before. You've done it before. Like there's a ton of high performance athletes that have to learn how to not do it and just like manage their symptoms, manage their cravings, manage it and control. And it takes time. It takes multiple shows. Now, whatever happens, I probably shouldn't be around granola 2 weeks out. Like,
Yes. I definitely have seasons where I'm not going in Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are just some places that you just have to know yourself, and truly like when you take that control back, like that's self-respect, right? So you're building self-efficacy and self-respect, self-trust. And when you make decisions against your goals, you lose that efficacy and you just don't trust yourself with anything. Like I've literally had seasons where I'm like, I don't even trust myself as a human being, much less a competitor. So I've just had to find little like tricks of the trade, things that, help, like the pre-portioned peanut butters. And it's like, this is it. This is my dose. I've had to find the protein powders that work for me, but I won't obsess over, that are sweet, but they're not too sweet,
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way. It takes time. Yeah. The pre-measured protein or the peanut butter things, I'll have to freeze it. I'll have to, like no family size anything, things are prepackaged. Same thing, get protein powder that I don't enjoy, that I don't like, so I can't binge on it, make everything super plain, so I can't really eat that much. Everything like try to, what else is there? Grocery shopping. So instead of actually physically going into the store and torturing myself and like going down the candy aisle, deliver or order my groceries online, stick to the list. That's it. So if it's ordered online, I just pick it up, save time. Meal prepping. This every like don't get lazy and not do it, but figure out, okay, when I'm meal prepping, I can't take bites of this. When I'm meal prepping, like stop eating. Don't eat hungry when you're meal prepping. So have a meal before you start going into preparing your food. So when you're weighing out your carbs, you're not like, here we go. Oh,
Just that little bit in the bottom.
you know, or
In the bottom.
you see the meme where it's like the person has their peanut butter jar and then they're like one serving and then they like end up eating like a huge thing anyway. They're like, oh yeah, zero it out, and then they just eat a ton. But it takes time to learn. So is there any other mistakes outside of like eating or anything, like as far as training goes, that you've learned?
Not pushing myself. So, because of my condition, I tend to, baby myself, I guess. My glutes have always been a struggle, and I'm sure a lot of women, that's a struggle bus. Um, but I always make excuses that my hips, my right hip is killing me. But I had an MRI done, they find nothing, x-rays, nothing. So I guess it's just idiopathic pain. And I let it hold me back. And I decided this year, I'm like, no more. Like, no more. I'm going to push, and I'm being monitored. So the medical professionals are giving me clearance, and I've just got to do it. I got to quit being scared. So really, like, pushing myself in the gym. It's really easy to talk yourself out of something. Unless you have somebody there in your ear just saying, keep going. You've got one more, I don't know if you read that book. Anyway, I can't recall the name at the moment, but I ended up getting the tattoo. One more, just one more, one more rep, put one more weight on there, one more plate. That's been my struggle in the gym, making excuses for why I can't push harder. Because I'll spend 2 hours in the gym. I don't have a problem going to the gym. I love it. It's my safe place. In fact, I tell my kids today, I'm like, you know how you need a nap to feel energized? Mommy needs to go to the gym. I need to go throw some stuff around.
No, that's great because you know what you need. Okay, I do want to so describe, like you kind of mentioned that you have something. So what are you dealing with? What are you struggling with? What are you doing?
So I have lupus, an autoimmune disease, as most people do these days. It is not foreign for someone to have an autoimmune disease, but I was diagnosed when I was 14, and the doctors told my parents that I would be wheelchair bound by the time I'm 40.
Really?
I'm 37, so
Wow.
that got scary real quick. So through college, I went through nursing school, and as I was learning more about my disease process, I was like, holy cow, like the potential for my life expectancy is, lower than most. Now treatments have come a long way, and they're doing stem cell research and everything now too. But it got scary, and I was like, I've got to take control of this, and I've got to make the decision to take care of me. No one can do it for me. Nobody can want it for me. So I just don't make excuses. So I tried triathlons. I tried Spartan races. I did the Tri-Fit Challenge, and I found that competing allowed me to stay fit, but within reason. Does that make sense? Since we work out for aesthetics, it's I still get that release. I get the cardiovascular activity. Now when I do prep, my lab work goes to hell in a handbasket. My renal function stinks. My liver sometimes will bump. I will say, I know that steroids are so taboo. But I got on Anavar actually, and it preserved my renal function. And that was a couple years ago. but that saved my kidneys for a season, because you know, one of our renal function, most lupus patients end up on dialysis. So I'm trying to prevent that, but I get so tired of hearing people make excuses for why they can't. I'm like, I need you to figure out how you can, so when I find myself going, oh, well, I just can't lift that today. And I'm like, no, how can I lift that today? Okay, if the pad is what's bothering me, then let's change the pad. If it's the weight is just too much, then let's shift it around. Let's figure out how we can make this work. So that's kind of been my struggle with the disease process, and just got to stop making excuses and start figuring out how.
Yeah, I love that mindset. I love it. And it's not something that a lot of people, like outside of competing, a lot of competitors do have that mindset, but like how can I make this work? There's no excuses. When you start competing, you have to realize no matter how stressful it gets, no matter what I'm feeling, I have to be on a sparkly bikini in 16 weeks, 12 weeks, next week. And you have to realize, like, kids, life, family, stress, whatever it is, I cannot not do this. I cannot not go to the gym. If that means getting up an extra hour early, 2 hours, 3 hours early, sometimes, that's what we have to do. Right. It's, after work, if I have to do cardio, or before or during, or where can I get my steps? How can I get creative with this? There is always a solution to every single problem. There's never I just give up, or I can't. Like, that I can't mindset is so hard to break out of. But when you start finding yourself, and maybe I could, but let's do the best that I can, right? Maybe you are feeling tired, and then you're like, maybe I really physically can't lift this weight, and that's okay, but what could I do today? I'm still going to go in the gym. I'm not going to give up on my whole workout. Let's just scratch that exercise. Let's throw in an alternative. Let's try something different that I can't do. So you still feel some type of win. Like, not every workout is going to be amazing. It's not every diet day is going to be perfectly to the gram, to the T, to the hour, every, 3 to 5 hours, or 3 to 4 hours, whatever it is, eat my meals and it looks like this and it looks perfectly. Sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't have time to meal prep. I got lazy. I went to sleep, and now I have to eat tuna packets, and this is disgusting. Like, sometimes it happens that way. And so you just kind of have to make it work. And I like that you are, your mom, you have lupus, like, you have all these different things, and you're working. So what are you doing as your job during this time?
So I'm a registered nurse. I had a season, so I can't vaccinate, and I lost my job at the bedside when COVID hit. I felt like that was a God moment, because it just didn't make. I just graduated with my master's, and I'm like, we terminate master's prepared nurses in the middle of a crisis? Like, my mind was blown, and I was just like, okay, this has just got to be God. Okay, so I ended up applying and hired on at a university. So I'm teaching undergraduate nursing now, which in my interview, I get to sit down with the dean, which is always really exciting. And my social media came up. And yeah, so I've never posted anything inappropriate, just competition. And there were some comments about it. And I said, well, listen, it's no different than a man standing on the side of a pool in a Speedo. This is my sport. I'm not going to take it down. I'll be mindful of what I post, but it's not going anywhere. I'm a sponsored athlete. I was sponsored at the time. And, part of the agreement is that I'm on social media. And so, anyway, I got my job, and the students just took it to an inappropriate level. So I ended up having to take down my socials, lost my sponsorship. And so now it's back to the grind, because, it's not cheap to do our sports. So struggling with the professionalism, and especially like living in the Bible Belt, it's very taboo for, oh, she must not be a good girl. She's on a stage in a bikini. And it's like, no, it's so much more than what people give it credit for. in fact, I was being honored at a soccer game. They had like a faculty recognition soccer game. One of my students had spotlighted me as influential in her journey, and I was honored. But the coach, not the coach, the athletic director was next to me, and he was like, "So what's your favorite sport?" And I was like, "Bodybuilding." And he was like, "Oh, I guess that's a sport." And I was like, "Yeah, dang straight, it's a sport." So always advocating for our sport is so big to me. And although, yes, I did have to take down my social media, it was more because it was a distraction and it was taken to an inappropriate context. Like, I just think it's so important for people to speak up about it, like remove the stigma. It is not hypersexualized, like that's not the intention behind it. And anyway, I'm a big advocate for that. I just think it's so important that just because I compete on a stage doesn't mean I'm any less professional.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's crazy that we even have to have that conversation right now. Like, there's so many worse things that you could be posting and doing. But I don't think taking care of your health and like taking back in control of your life and like living a very healthy lifestyle. Yes, one day a year I might be in a sparkly bikini, right? And overexposed. You don't see a lot of people doing that. But I would much rather do that than like there's if I didn't do this sport, I would be in a very different mental situation, right? There's so many teachers that are not in nurses and like these professional careers that are not living healthy. And that term, what living healthy means, it's very broad, but when you are in like in all the donuts and treats and cookies and things and like working on your feet, they don't really realize like how much goes into competing. It's not just you just show up and look great one day. It is a year-round sport. It takes mental discipline from the time that you get up to the time that you go to bed for years. It's not a couple months where I'm on this little diet for like 30 days. No, it is, we have meals time. I got to meal prep. I had a grocery shop. I got to get hair, tan, makeup. Like it is crazy. It's like planning, it's getting ready for a wedding, and then it's training as a professional athlete. Like, you might not have a professional status card, but any competitor, amateur or not, you have to get ready for a show. You have to be diligent. You have to be disciplined. You have to do cardio, not one day, every single day for like months to get ready progressively. You have to train. You have to train hard. You have to train heavy. You have to, like, when you're tired, there's all this stuff that you're having to balance. And I'm sorry that really that happens. That makes me mad, because like I have personally, like, that's why this podcast is here, just so you can share your voice. And like, we're not showing anything here. We're just literally talking and speaking, using our voice for like what it actually is. And like, as female women, like, this is just something that you can do any age at any time, and it's going to help live a longer life. Sure, we do have to get down to a certain body fat that may not be technically healthy for a day, for a couple of weeks, or whatever it is, but year round, you're training, you're strengthening your joints, you're strengthening your muscles. You're going to age beautifully. You're going to have like a long life with your kids that you can stay active. But I don't think that like bikini, any sport, I mean, bikini division, wellness division, figure division, whatever it is, I don't even look at bodies even anymore. I see muscles. If I see someone post a butt picture, I see their glutes. I don't see anything. I see a male with his shirt off with flexing, and I'm looking at nice delts, like nice biceps. Like, I see physique. I see muscle shape. I don't see body types, right? And someone has not done that journey sees it as the worst possible situation. Oh, you're up there with your butt out or whatever it is. And it's really sad, because if they could just see how much more it is, and just take a second just to really just like, wow, no, this is, can't believe it, like your body looks like that. You're able to sculpt your body like that is so inspirational. And just, you can really like, you learn discipline from competing. You can apply it to anything.
Yeah. Rachel Hollis, do you ever listen to any of her podcasts or anything?
What is her podcast called? Okay, no, then no.
Okay, anyway, so she once said, and I love this, I live by this, that someone else's opinion of you is none of your business. And I was like, dang, and I was like, I need that philosophy in my life because I'm a people pleaser. And once I shifted my mindset to that, I think that's why I was able to have the conversation with the dean that I had, because I just decided, like, I don't care what you think. Bodybuilding it is what it is. It's my sport. So I think once we fully understand and trust why we're doing what we're doing, the rest of it, moot point. Your opinion of me doesn't matter. The only opinion I need is of my coach and of the judge, and the rest is whatever it is.
Yeah.
Even when people tell me like, oh, I really like that, blah, 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 I'm like, okay. Because I've tried to just numb myself to opinions. Like, I don't need the opinion. I don't need the validation. Anyway, that has really helped me overcome a lot, is just remembering that, one, it's not about me, and two, their opinion is none of my business.
Yes, I agree with that fully. When you start competing, you're going to get family that's going to say, you should have won, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have, again, the negative side of, I can't believe you're posting that, blah, blah. You're going to get all these little things in your ear. You look amazing. Can't you have a bite of this? You already look great. Can't you just go out with us one time? Can't you just like have one? Like, you look so good. It's not going to ruin it. And you have to just tone out the noise and literally say, no, I want to do this. I want to do this for me. I understand. Yes, I do maybe look great now, but I have to be, it's not what you think. It's not what I think, really. I'm getting in shape for the judges or for this show, and I need to follow my plan. This is my plan. That is not my plan. I'm not going to be following that because it doesn't serve me and my goals. Maybe after, yes, but it takes some education for people that are close to you, just to realize, like, we're not doing this because we don't think we look good, or we're trying to get, I don't know, whatever they think that we're doing it for. It doesn't even matter. Like, I don't know what it is that they think, oh, you're just trying to get attention. And that's not the case at all. It is very showy and flashy, but when you work that hard, you want to show it off, right?
Yeah.
Like, you work so hard. Your body can only last in stage lean for like a day max. So when you are stage lean and you feel great, you want to take all the pictures, contents, whatever it is, because you're tanned and you have your hair done and you have your extensions and your makeup and your bikini, and you just feel so empowered. Like, I've made it to this day. And you should do it all. You should post it all, because it is hard to get there, right? It's so hard to get there. It takes so much time for one day, and it's over so fast.
But Savannah, like, is it really hard? It's simple. It's simple, but it's just so much effort, And so when we like choose to take the time to pour into ourselves, and that's why like having a coach is so important, right? Because like they've given you the recipe. Here you go. Like, it's not easy, but it's not hard. You just have to do it, and it's 1 hour at a time. Like,
Yeah.
I've just got to make this one good decision right now. Like, this right now decision is the only one that matters right now.
No, it is, we overcomplicate how simple it is, right? If I get a coach and I follow the plan, that's it. That's really all that there is. But we overcomplicate it. We make it hard. We get tired. We fight with ourselves. Oh, I'm just tired today. We worked really hard. I'll just make up the cardio tomorrow. Those conversations are what makes it the hardest, right? Of like, can I actually do this? Can I really, like, how good can I be? How good can I adhere to this plan? Can I actually do it? I think that's where it gets really hard. Or when we do people please, right? Oh gosh, I've just said no to going out to eat for just one time's not gonna really hurt. It's just that mental game of it, right? Just like, if you looked at it, it's real on a piece of paper, it's really not that bad, right? Okay, 16 weeks, you are going to control your calories. You can eat, foods that you like, they're healthy foods. You're gonna just eat a little bit less progressively each week, and we're gonna just do a little bit more cardio progressively each week. And you're gonna practice posing an hour or two a week, something like that. That's it. That's it. All right. Don't overcomplicate it. But then we just sit in our heads, and that's, the self-doubt, all this stuff goes in. But you are correct. Like, it really is easy. And I think the hard part is no one wants to put in the work, and they want to pretend like it's really hard because they don't want to do it. Because like if it were easy, everyone would look around like shredded year round. Like if it was truly easy to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
But it's subjective to, you can make it easier than it is. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Good. Okay, so anything else that I really have, like we haven't gotten to touch on, like certain topics that you want to make sure that we touched on?
I think the other piece is you probably don't realize all of the people that you're inspiring on your journey. When you have your struggles and they see you fight through it and how graceful you are towards the end, because I know it's not pretty or graceful in the middle of it because it's messy in the middle. I don't know that you fully understand the impact that you have on people. My kids are watching me, Mom, why aren't you going to the gym today? Mom, are you sure you're supposed to be having that right now? They hold me accountable, and I've asked them to, and they do. But I have so many people that come up to me, including my physician, my rheumatologist, and she's like, I have no words. And she's always asking, when's your next competition? For a while there was a fight there because it was, you should not be doing this. You need to be doing that and that. And when I wasn't paying close attention to my nutrition, I let my protein get out of hand. That was when my kidneys really struggled. She was like, see, this is why I tell you, and I was like, I hear you. But I just had to figure out what is that recipe that works for my body. And when I did, she was like, oh, okay. So you never know who's learning from you in your journey, in your success, and in your struggle. So don't be ashamed of it. Like, let's grow through it. Let's fail forward, and keep moving, because there's somebody out there that's going to relate to you.
Yeah, no, I love that because you really don't. And it could be a random stranger that, even if it's one time, they maybe one time see you at the same time at the gym. And they're like, who is that? What? I don't even know what she's doing, but she's just pounding out the reps. She won't quit. I see her popping around here. She's been here for like an hour. She's going with Stairmaster, whatever it is. And that person maybe be like, man, if she can do it, I can do it. And then you don't know how far of an impact that one little thing that you're just, you just think no one's watching, I'm just doing my own thing. Now, this one person, maybe they have an amazing workout, they go on a fitness journey, and you don't know, that person could go tell another person, hey, I pushed really hard. I saw this girl, blah, blah, blah. She was doing this exercise. So I did this exercise. Now I have that type of muscle. And that person tells a person that tells a person, like, you really have no idea how far it goes. Because some people, they'll tell you about it after.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to show day, congratulations, I followed the whole way. And you had no idea that they were watching. Or, oh, hey, I saw you're having a hard time. Just to let you know, like, here's some inspiration. Like, you literally don't know. Sometimes it will happen years later, months later, at the end of it, whatever it is. And it's just kind of like oh, wow, okay. Like, what I am doing is making a difference. And like, through competing, like, you see it all the time, right? Competitor physiques are amazing. Not everyone has a competitor body. A lot of people want to have it desperately, and they see you and they're just like, how? She figured it out. She found this formula. Just tell me your secrets, right? They want to know the secrets. And they just, when you want to say, like, it's just hard work, And that's really it. And you're like, oh, okay, I thought there was something special that you found out. And when you go through it, you're gonna realize, oh wow, if I just work hard for like a long time, I can achieve anything. So I appreciate you coming on, sharing your journey, and juggling everything that you're juggling. And so you've been an inspiration to myself just to hear your story. So I love it. So hopefully, like, if this episode changes one listener's life, then it was a success. But I do want you to just finish your episode. Like, what is our last piece of advice for either a new competitor or what you wish you would have told someone at the beginning?
Okay. So don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Nick Saban. I'm not a big football fan, not necessarily like Roll Tide, but I am a Nick Saban fan. And his thing is, do not practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. And I'm posing every day in the gym, and people keep asking me like, "Is your show this weekend?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "When is it?" And they're like, "March." And they're like, "Why are you posing?" That's why, I don't want to get it wrong. I want it to be so fluid and so innate that I don't have to worry about it. There's one less butterfly in my belly on the stage. So I think that's my last piece of advice. And if no one takes anything else, it's that.
Oh, yes, I'm glad that you practice is everything. Like anything you do habitually, it makes a difference. It really does. Posing specifically for competing, do not neglect it. Posing is everything. There is nothing more important than posing besides your training. That's it. Like, okay, we'll end there. All right. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, do you have an active social media account, or is this?
I do not. I do not. So they'll have to reach out to you because you know how to get a hold of me.
Okay. All right. So you can reach out to me and I'll get you guys in touch if you guys need anything. Thank you so much for coming on. I'll get your episode schedules probably for like 2 weeks from now. And good luck on your future endeavors.
You're awesome. Thanks, Sav. And I cannot wait to watch your Worlds show.
Today vlog coming out tomorrow. So
I'm so excited. It's on my timer. Like, it's supposed to alert me. I'm so excited.
Okay.